And welcome to a new episode of The Simpsons Did It. I'm your host, Steven Skolansky.
And I'm your co-host, Robert Skolansky.
And this week, we're going to do what we always do. We're just going to be our inner
We're going to do
child.
what feels good. Yeah, we're going to do what feels good.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever acted like a grown-up. I think I've always acted like my inner child.
You're on the right track. Keep it up.
Yeah. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? Sorry, what could possibly go wrong? Possibly go wrong.
You screwed up that quote.
That's the first thing
that's
ever gone wrong.
No, it's not. Not even close.
Yeah, so yeah, this week is definitely we're gonna take it to our childhood. But first, it's funny. Last episode, you made mention of something happening that's completely different from the rest of the episode. Now this is the start of that, I think.
I don't know. Well, yeah, it's weird. This is another, I agree. This is another one where it starts and ends just kind of just opposite of how you would think it would go.
Yep. So this week we're going to be discussing season 5, episode 7, Bart's Inner Child.
Mm-hmm.
Which
is weird because he is a child.
He is a child. He doesn't have an inner child.
But we'll get to that.
Yeah. Recap. Our air date this week is November 11th, 1993.
Yep.
So almost a new year. We're almost getting to 1994.
Yep.
I'm sure the hiatus is going to be kicking in here soon, and it'll be next year before you know it.
Yep.
Recap. Homer buys a tramapoline, trampoline, which
spoiler alert,
which injures. This is a recap, not a spoiler alert. Shut up. Anyway, Homer
gave away the best joke for free.
Anyway, Homer buys a trampoline, which injures many of the neighborhood children. It does.
Yeah.
So once again, no chalkboard this week. Kind of sad. I'm missing Bart skating out of the school.
Yeah.
And the couch gag this week, I think is fantastic.
There
is a big, giant, fat guy sitting on the Simpsons couch, just takes up the whole thing. And the Simpsons come in and squeeze right into the guy.
Oh my God. That was so weird.
Who is this guy?
He wanted to sit down and the Simpsons left their house open.
Apparently,
so he walked in, saw a couch, like, oh, couch. Okay, cool. I'm going to sit down.
Apparently this is just what people do now. They're like, oh, I know what it is. Simpsons are famous now and everyone knows about this couch. And the guy's like, I got to go in and sit on this guy's couch. I got to do it. And now maybe the Simpsons could charge admission of some kind to sit on the couch.
No.
They could do that?
No,
I think they could.
Who's gonna pay to sit on a couch?
If it's dude, I would pay to sit on the Simpsons couch, right? If there was a house somewhere that had a Simpsons couch in it, and they were like $10.
Yeah, but if this is a cartoon, if there was like a live action version of the Simpsons, yes, I would sit on that couch. But this is a cartoon, so you're not gonna get that couch.
Maybe.
Anyways, we're moving on. So this episode starts out with Bart and Lisa eating breakfast and Bart making faces at Lisa, who then yells at Marge to get Bart to stop. I don't remember if we really ever did this as kids.
I did.
Did you do that to me?
All the time. Backseat of the car, house, kitchen, anywhere. It was fun making faces at you.
I mean, I did the not stop. I'm not touching you.
Yeah. Either way, you're an asshole.
Yeah. It takes one to know one. So Marge yells at Bart to stop making faces, which I don't know why you need to yell. Whatever, just ignore it. And she's like, Homer, speak to Bart. But Homer is too busy making faces at the pets. Stupid pets.
Oh, that's great. If I were the pets, I'd be like, why am I sitting here staring at this?
I know, right? Well, maybe they're entertained.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, they're animals. They're easily entertained.
Cat, not so much. Dog, you might stick around.
Yeah. So Homer opens up the paper, and there's a section that gives away free stuff. And the men's shelter is giving away 60 soiled mattresses. That's gross.
Homer's like, yes.
And then he's like, and then he sees an ad. And he's like, yes. He sees the ad for a free trampoline in the paper. He goes, oh my God. And Lisa like, what is it? He's like, a trampoline. A tramapoline.
That's awesome. So,
starting this episode off with a banger.
I know. Dude, this is like one of my favorite short segments of The Simpsons.
Yeah.
But you want to know what other free things were in the newspaper?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so for free, in the for free section of the Springfield Chopper, one of the listing reads, Fat Boy Bomb Free. Call Herman, K19-4327. And we also know that Herman has tried to sell this nuclear device in Homer's Barbershop Quartet at the swap meet and Homer the Vigilante. And we haven't done that. We haven't got there yet.
No.
We're sorry that's a little bit of a spoiler, but he also tries to sell it in that episode, which we'll get to. I think it's this season, so a little bit down the way. But I like how he's like selling it, trying to give it away for free, and still no one wanted it.
Yeah.
Back to trying to sell it again.
And so Homer runs off to get the tramapoline, but Marge yells at him to not bring back any old crutches, which, if they're still in good shape.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, you never know when you're going to sprain an ankle or break an ankle or hurt your legs or, having crutches around ain't a bad thing. No. So, by the way, before we get to any further, the address for this trampoline is at 534 Center Street. I want everybody to remember this. So Homer, peels out of the driveway and another car is backing out. He's like, oh, no, you don't. I'm going to do that trampoline first. And
like
he hit.
Like that guy was actually trying to go and get the trampoline.
And Homer hits and runs that car. That is a felony.
Oh, that was
Homer is going to jail, not getting a tramapoline, a tramapoline. So he pulls up to the house, rings the doorbell, water squirts him in the face. He goes, what the heck? And then he just keeps doing it over and over. The door opens, and who lives at this house? Krusty the Clown. We know where Krusty the Clown lives.
Hey,
534 Center Street.
Free.
Nope, that's seltzer. It's not free. And so Homer asks Krusty why he's getting rid of the trampoline, and Krusty's like, well, I used to do a lot of tumbling bits, but I'm phasing that out for dirty limericks. And he starts, there once was a man named Enos.
Yeah, go
that's
Krusty.
Man. Oh, yeah. So Homer's like, so you mean I can just haul this thing away for free? And Krusty's like, yep, it's all yours.
All right, Robert. So have you ever taken anything for free off a curb or responded to an ad that for free items?
I've never responded to an ad. I've been given hand-me-down stuff.
Okay, that wasn't the question.
So no.
Okay, good. There we go. That's what I was looking for.
I've never picked up somebody else's junk off of a curb.
Now me, I've posted a lot of free stuff on the app called Nextdoor.
Yeah, okay.
If you haven't, do it. It's awesome. Or I've put a lot of free stuff down at my curb.
Yeah.
And I always do the Krusty evil laugh when people take some. Okay, so we had a cow. Hopefully, no one in my neighborhood listens to this. So we had a purple velvety chair that our cat used to like to pee on a lot.
Ooh.
And I've cleaned it every time we did it. But then I was like, all right, I'm done with this. I put it out at the end of my driveway. Within probably 6 hours, gone.
Wow.
And
did anybody take that couch?
Yes.
Somebody took the couch?
So no one took... So I had it on the curb.
Yeah.
And it snowed that night.
Yes, I remember that.
And my wife was like, you should bring that in. No one's going to want that couch if it's all snowed. And I'm like, someone will want it. And so probably a good week later, when it finally all melted away and the snow was gone, we carried it into our garage.
Yeah.
But I left it on the app. Eventually, someone was like... hey, is that couch still available? And I was like, yes, but it was out in the snow during that last snowstorm, but we brought it in to dry it out in our garage.
Yeah.
Someone was like, oh, can I come by and take it? evil laugh as the couch disappeared off my driveway.
Nice.
So yes, I've only ever taken a free chair, like a folding chair, off someone's free in front of my house.
Does taking it out of your dead grandmother's house count?
No.
Damn.
So yeah, Krusty's evil laugh. The trampoline's finally gone.
And so now we cut back to the Simpsons house, and Bart is in his room playing with Santa's little helper, as little boys will do with their dogs. And he's like, "Oh, you're such a good boy." And then Homer appears in his window. He goes, "Hi, Bart."
Hi, Bart.
Hey, Bart. Hi, Bart. And Bart's like, "What is going on?" So he runs downstairs, and Lisa and Bart run down outside, and Homer is bouncing on the trampoline. And Lisa goes, "Homer, this one gesture almost makes up for years of shaky fathering."
And Bart's like, "I'll never get tired of this." And Lisa's like, "I'm going to have my wedding here." And Marge comes out.
If I went to a wedding with a trampoline, you bet your ass I'd be on that thing.
Yep. And then Marge comes out. "I don't think this is a good idea." Yep.
And Homer.
Yeah. And then Marge's like, "Oh, it's good exercise."
Homer said that.
Yeah, that's what I said. Homer says, "It's good exercise. It'll double the price of our house."
No.
If you leave it. I mean, look, if you add a pool or add...
Okay, if that house is worth $100,000 and they leave a trampoline, that house is not $200,000.
Oh, you don't know what people are willing to pay for a trampoline. Look at how excited Homer was for a trampoline.
Yeah, but it was free.
Right.
If it was like $100, do you think you'd be as excited? I don't think so.
Maybe, because trampolines could get pretty pricey.
It's not going to double the value of your home.
Homer thinks it would.
Well, Homer's, as we've well established in canon, has a crayon up his brain.
Yeah. So Homer says he has big plans. And so we get a dream sequence of Homerland, admission $50. Yeah, it's a little bit steep, Homer, although Disneyland's like 160 some per person, which I think is really outrageous.
Dude, that's a huge park, man.
I know, but
they gotta upkeep all those rides.
Yeah,
build new ones, and probably pay licensing fees.
Yeah, it's still expensive. So we get some attractions, including Trampoline World. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Muckville, USA, which is basically a giant mud pit.
Yep. I did love in the background of that one, Nelson flung mud at another kid.
Yep. Well, it is Muckville, so you know.
Yeah.
And the Fort Adventure. And then Millhouse starts, which I'll cross out. I think something smells in there. No, it doesn't.
And that's the mattress fort.
Yep. And so my guess is these are the free soiled mattresses that Homer was going to get anyway.
Yes, they probably were. Which he obviously didn't get.
No, he didn't get them. But in his dreams, he did. He did get them. And so we see a line of people ready to use the trampoline. And I like how Otto's there. And he bounces. And he cracks his back on the bar. And obviously knocked his, shoulder.
Yep.
And he's like, "Hey, pop my shoulder back into place." And he's like, "Oh, I lost my turn."
Yeah, once you fall off the trampoline, those are the rules.
Yep.
I don't make them. I just enforce them.
Yeah. And so we see Wendell crashing, Ralph biting his tongue. That's not really getting hurt by the trampoline. That's just getting hurt on the trampoline. I feel like...
But that's the thing. The trampoline is cursed. If you use it, you get hurt. Although the Simpsons kids didn't get hurt.
Nope. Because if you own it, you don't get hurt. It's the other kids that get hurt.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah,
that is true.
And so Rod and Todd are jumping on. It's like, every jump brings us closer to God. And then they run into each other.
Hug me, God.
Yep. And so you see, once they crash on the gods, like, why is this happening to us? And you see divine-looking beams of sunlight through the clouds as Rod asks, "What have we done to make God angry?"
Jumping on another man's trampoline.
Yep. And then we see Nelson and another kid jumping on Millhouse on the trampoline. So Millhouse gets hurt by association, I guess.
Yeah.
And then as the last person falls off, I was like, "Move along, kids. If you get hurt, it's the next kid's turn." And Marge says, "This is terrible. And it's like, I'll take care of this. It puts a tiny little caution sign in front of the trampoline, which, hey, that doesn't make you liable anymore, right?
Well, I mean, you use a trampoline at your own risk. Let's be honest.
Exactly. And then we see a scene of a field full of children injured by the trampoline. And this is a reference from the injured soldiers in Gone with the Wind.
Yes. I've never actually watched Gone with the Wind.
It's way too long.
Isn't it like a 3-hour movie?
Maybe longer. It's like 2 VHS tapes.
For those of you who don't know what a VHS tape is, congratulations, you're not old.
So folks, in the olden days, movies
in the before times,
movies that were very long took up 2 cassette tapes.
Yeah, because I think each cassette tape was like 2, maybe 2.5 hours each.
Well, it depends, but I can tell you that the only other movie I remember being on 2 VHS tapes was Titanic.
Yeah, dude, that movie was 3 hours long.
Yep. And so Homer's like, Marge yells at Homer's like, you got to get rid, this is a bad idea. Homer's like, I'll get rid of it. And Homer tries to return it back to Krusty, and Krusty's like, pulls a shotgun out and says, keep moving.
By the way, to go back for a second, Gone with the Wind is almost a 4-hour movie.
Yeah. It's long.
Yeah. Yep. Pulls the shotgun on him.
Yep. And so now we get a sequence of Homer trying to push the trampoline off a cliff. And once he pushes it, it falls over the edge, and then it lands on a pillar of rocks. It bounces back up to Homer and, kind of bashes him back into the mountain top edge. And this is a reference to the Chuck Jones directed Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner Looney Tunes cartoons. And yeah, the background, everything is all Looney Tunes. The whole thing is just Looney Tunes.
It's great.
And I like how he gets put into the cliff. It was like, if this were a cartoon, the cliff would break now, just like Wile E. Coyote. And it like gets to nighttime, and he's like, I'm thirsty. And then it breaks off and goes down into the cliff.
So Homer is dead.
No, this is a dream sequence, remember, or coma sequence. Everything's in his coma. He's
that is
everything
true.
now.
Yes. And so, and this obviously plot point, but Homer is in the backyard with a saw to cut up the trampoline. Why didn't he just leave the trampoline in the desert?
I don't know. He just wanted to get rid of it. That would have been perfect.
He did get rid of it. It was in the desert. Leave it there.
I know.
Again, as you pointed out, he's in a coma. Like, this is the only way this makes sense.
Yep.
Like, yeah, Homer is dumb, but like, it's already there. Just friggin' leave it. So he's got the saw. He's like, all right, I'm going to get you. And he runs at it, but like the cord isn't long enough. So he trips, and the saw wraps around the trampoline, like cord and all, and pulls out like the socket and the drywall in the house. Now there's a giant hole in the house.
Yep. That was great.
And so Homer tells the trampoline that you win for now, but someday you will rust. And he goes, he's lost it. He's lost it.
He's gone mad. Just like Krusty. Krusty must have gone mad too with that trampoline.
Yeah. So then Bart comes out and tells Homer to stop, being hysterical. He's like, Homer, do you want to get rid of the trampoline? And Homer's like, yeah. And so Bart shows him a bike lock.
This is a bike lock.
This is a bike lock. So they lock the trampoline up to a pole that's in their backyard. And Bart's like, all right, Homer, turn around and count to 3. And so they turn around. Bart's like, 3, 2, 1. And then they turn around and they see Snake cutting off the bike lock. And Bart's like, well, we better make that 5. So they turn back around and you hear the chain break. And then Snake goes, all right, I got myself a bed. Hey, man, it bends a little bit, so you get a little bit of comfort, I guess.
Yeah.
And so
if you guys don't know, back in, I would assume now is probably still pretty normal, but bike locks back in the day, they had to make them in a way where they could, not be cut, like they put like, stuff on them. But yeah, bike locks were always getting cut back in the 90s. and maybe before that, because you just left your bike out there, and someone's like, "Well, this is easy." Clip.
Oh yeah, in high school I had a friend, and this was the early 2000s. He had his bike stolen and he had it locked up.
Yeah, but I do like the fact that the bike lock was on a pole where you could have just, well, I guess I don't know how heavy a trampoline is, but you could lift the bike lock up and over the pole without having to cut it. But that's just how easily theft happened in the 90s and the 80s, that you could just turn around after locking up a bike and it would be gone.
Yeah. So now it's nighttime. Marge and Homer are in bed, and we hear the police outside. Like, they want to use the trampoline, and they're like, "Oh, we can't wake up old man Simpson." And they realize that the trampoline is gone. So they're like, "Well, screw it. We'll use the car as a trampoline." And they get pretty good height because you can see their silhouettes in the window.
Yep.
That's a bouncy car.
Yeah.
And
the tires have some good spring to it, or the shocks have some good spring to it.
Yeah, so Marge, is annoyed at Homer because now the boys are using the car, and Homer admits that the trampoline was a bad idea, but he's like, "But at least I try new things." Yeah. And he's like, "Marge, if it were up to you, we would only go to work and church." And he's like, "Name one." He's like, "When's in the last month? Name something fun that you did." She's like, "I can name 10 things," and the only thing she can come up with, "I made sloppy joes." Homer's like, "That's not fun. They're fun to eat, though."
Yeah, they're fun to eat.
They're not fun to make.
I don't know. I like making sloppy joes.
I mean, I like making them. It's just I don't like cooking. But I like making them. It's a conundrum. So now, Marge is like, and they cut to the morning, and they're all sitting around, and Marge asks the kids if she's fun or if she just nags all the time, and the kids just don't answer.
I mean, our mom was pretty naggy too.
But she did take us to do a lot of things.
Yeah. But there were definitely times where she had the Marge.
Oh, yeah. Like when we were kids, yeah, she would, both of our parents would play with us and do things with us. But yes, our mom was definitely a Marge Simpson, although she did have more fun.
Yeah.
Still does. And so the kids don't know how to answer. And then we get a montage of, Marge nagging and going, her thing. And so Lisa asks Marge if she is mad. And she goes, no. But she walks out to drive to her sister's, and she almost clips Ned. Ned's like, "Hey, you almost clipped me there." So yes, Marge is angry, which, to be fair, that's kind of on her to not having any fun.
Yeah.
And being naggy all the time. And so Marge goes to her sister's, who one of them checks her blood pressure, which is off the charts. And the other one had her take a pee test. And she's like, "I don't like the look at your urine sample." And so they're like, "Marge, you're headed for a nervous breakdown. How about you watch Brad Goodman, who is voiced by Albert Brooks?"
Yep.
And so then he talks about all the different things that can go wrong in the Feel Bad Rainbow.
Would you like to know all the disorders?
Yes, I would. I was going to write them all down. I'm like, oh, this is too much work.
Okay, according to Brad Goodman, these are the disorders in the Feel Good Rainbow: depression, insomnia, motor mouth, darting eyes, decisiveness, bossiness, uncontrollable falling down, which doesn't Homer have that from last episode? Geriatric profanity disorder, which I feel like we all have that. Fucking ridiculous. Or GPD.
Yep.
And chronic nagging.
Oh, sorry, the TV does this. And Selmer Patty bangs it.
It's like a record or something.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's the Feel Bad Rainbow, which, this is just a life coach thing. They're making fun of life coaches. So, Marge gets a tape and wants to watch it with Homer, and it's called Adjusting Your Selfostat. Whatever the hell that is.
Yep, because I feel like you gotta get better. Gotta get better. This is the way
I do commend this. I do commend this episode for it. Kind of talks about having a good mental health.
Yes.
And so that's a really cool central idea to this episode.
Yep. And so we get another Troy McClure. 2 episodes in a row of Troy McClure.
Hell yeah.
This is awesome. Oh, hi. I'm Troy McClure. You might remember me from such self-help videos as Smoke Yourself Thin And get confidence, stupid. Well, now I'm here to tell you about the only real path to mental health. That's right. It's the Brad Goodman something or other.
Yeah, Troy McClure is like reading a cue card and he can't read it.
That's great.
Oh, God.
But I like how Brad tells Troy that he's glad Troy isn't. He's not glad that he's still drinking, but he's down from 50 to 1. So that's good.
Yeah, 50 is that 50 drinks in a week, a month, a day? Like, what is that?
I guess I don't know.
Well, Troy's an alcoholic, so I mean,
he is, but he's a good alcoholic. He's a functioning, working alcoholic.
Yes.
But he's only down to 1 drink
That's good.
Day, an hour, 1 drink an hour. I don't know. But I like how Brad, he comes out, not being,
he's like, I don't have a PhD. I don't really have any qualifications.
Yeah. But does any really self-help guru really have any qualifications?
No, it's all the same. It's all the same glibbity glop.
Exactly. Tony Robbins. When was Tony Robbins active? I feel like this is like making fun of Tony Robbins if he was active right now. I don't know.
Is Tony Robbins still active? He might still be active.
Is he still active? Maybe he is. I'm not sure.
I mean, he's 61. So depending on when he started, maybe 1990.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say this is definitely got to be making fun of like this.
Well, he was active from 76 to present.
Oh, wow. He was that early on?
Yeah, he was 16 years old. His first book was, one of his first books was published in 86.
Okay. So they're definitely ripping on Mr. Tony Robbins here.
Yeah. He started as a motivational speaker with author Jim Rohn when he was 17 years old.
Wow. And this is how cults get started. So Marge and Homer spend all night watching the video.
Yep.
And I like how at the end Marge's like, I didn't realize I was a passive aggressive culprit.
Not a thing.
Yeah.
Not a thing. Passive aggressiveness is a thing. Yes. We all do it. But whatever this group of wording is not a thing.
Yeah, I do like how the video starts though. Like Brad Goodman's like, "This is a circle." It's like Troy's like, "Wow, it's like you've known me your whole life."
And then they like cut to the end. He's like, "You've cured me, Doc." And he like takes a drink of champagne and he like Troy sticks his finger in to like try to get the rest of the liquid out.
Yeah. He is definitely not okay.
No. He needs to go see a psychologist.
Yes. But Marge blames herself for nagging Homer. When he does foolish things, it's because he enables his life script.
What is this? Oh my God. I love the fact they're making fun of self-help people because self-help people are garbage.
Oh, I feel like, I would say if you want to get help, great. But
go see a therapist.
Yes, I feel like the whole like get into an auditorium or get into like groups like that just don't work. You got to work on yourself solo or as a family, but doing it as like a whole group, I just feel like that's going.
Well, like for AA and groups like that, I mean, you want to do groups because, hearing other people go through the same thing helps. But like, if you're trying to work on your mental health, please go see a therapist.
Yeah. And so Homer is reading a book called Owning Your Okayness. Because Homer's only okay.
Yes.
And so here, this is great. So we get more lingo from Goodman. Homer, did you eat my whole pan of brownies? Bart's like, uh-oh, you're in for it now, Dad. Marge, I'm feeling a lot of shame right now. I'm hearing that you're feeling a lot of shame. And I feel you hearing my shame. I'm feeling annoyance and frustration, but also tolerance. I feel validated by that. Good. I'm glad we had this talk. Me too.
Lisa and Bart are now sharing your like if you were in a relationship, sharing your feelings is definitely a healthy way to have a relationship. I don't know if it's healthy in the manner that they're doing it here. I mean, I guess telling somebody, "Oh, I feel annoyed right now," I don't know if this stuff really helps. Again, if your relationship needs help, please go to couple counsel.
Yep.
Therapy.
And so Homer is back in that newspaper again.
Yeah.
And wants free surplus mayonnaise from Operation Desert Storm. So if you guys don't know, Operation Desert Storm ended January of 91.
And this is November of 93.
Yeah, that mayonnaise is definitely
Bad.
bad. Don't eat it. Don't eat old mayonnaise. It's bad for you. And so he also sees that Brad Goodman is coming to town. And Homer says, "Who needs him?" And Bart is riding his chair in the garbage disposal.
Bart needs Brad Goodman. No, Bart needs to see a child psychiatrist and be put on medication.
Yep.
And maybe better parenting.
Which in the future, yes. So Homer reminds everyone that they are at the seminar that they all agreed to attend. And Bart points out that that's an odd thing to say.
Because clearly Homer, Lisa, and Marge agreed to do this, and Bart was not included.
Yeah, exactly.
Or maybe he was, but he didn't know what this was. Yeah. And he didn't know what this was. I don't know.
Yeah. And so we get a sign, another sign. I love signs. Brad Goodman's Inner Child Workshop. So I like how this is to tie into this episode with Bart, but nothing of any of his like teaching so far state to be like your inner child.
Yeah.
Like, it's really weird that this is like the name of this seminar when, you know, nothing is.
Well, I'm sure. I mean, we haven't heard about it, but maybe, you know,
it's one of his maybe it's one of his chapters.
Yeah.
All right. And so, you know, Brad wants people to yell out what's bothering them. Quimby's like, I can't commit to a relationship. Burns is like, I'm too nice. Sure you are, Mr. Burns. You're too nice. And Apu's like, I have problems with. And Lenny steps up. I'm always interrupting people.
I love that.
Oh,
that's
Lenny.
great. Oh, that's great. And I love Brad's like, all right, people, let's try something interesting. It's no trick, but it's a simple trick.
That's all these gurus do is give you simple tricks that aren't really tricks.
Yeah. So he's like, people, I want you to listen to your inner child. So we go to Ned and we see his inner child going, he's like, you're doing great. Stay the course. And then we go to Homer's inner child. Food goes in here. And his inner child points to the mouth. Like, did he forget how food works? Like, or no, maybe his inner child wants to. His inner child
keeps reminding him.
Yeah. And then we go to Moe's, and Moe's inner child's like, why don't you talk with your accent no more? And then Moe's like, Mamma Mia.
So he's Italian? Has Moe always been Italian? Have we known this?
Well, Sislak, I guess he could be Italian.
Okay.
Yeah, he could be Italian or some sort of like, Middle Eastern? Not Middle Eastern. What's that, Greece? Middle European? Like the Italy, Greece region? I don't know what that's like. Mediterranean. Is that Mediterranean?
Yeah, go with that.
Yeah, Mediterranean. So now he has Skinner come up onto stage to express his feelings about his mom, and he beats the living crap out of the dummy. He's like, I'm a grown man, blah, blah, blah. And then Brad like calms him down, and he goes to sit back, and he's like, Mother, are we still on for Saturday? And Mrs. Skinner's like,
Oh, I like how she's in the audience. That's great. I feel like I almost thought Skinner was going to... Well, okay, so when I rewatched this, I thought that Skinner was going to be very passive up front, and Brad was told him, say what you really feel and do it. I thought that was the progression, like how I remembered this episode, and obviously it wasn't. He is like full-blown Vietnam beating up his mother.
Yeah. Oh, God, that's great. So then Brad goes, you have to do for yourself, because if you aren't a human being, well, when you stop that, you become a human doing. He's like, and what's next? Bart yells, a human going. And everybody laughs. And Bart starts to leave, and Marge stops him, and Brad invites Bart onto the stage.
He's like, what made you yell that remark? I don't know. You just wanted to express yourself, yes? I do what I feel like. That's marvelous. I couldn't have put it better myself. I do what I feel like. This young man here is the inner child I've been talking about.
And then, and Lisa goes, what? And I think that's when Lisa realized this was all bull crap.
Yep.
And so Brad points out, and so he like invites Marge and Homer onto the stage.
Let's get the parents up on stage.
Yeah. And Homer somehow has like 2 chicken legs or candy apples. Or apples. Yeah. And Brad is like, well, clearly Homer has an eating disorder. And he calls out Marge's hairstyle and says she wears it only for shock value. By the way, when I was listening to this episode, I like paused the scene rewound the scene like 4 or 5 times because I couldn't understand what he was saying, and then I had to put on the subtitles.
Really? I got it.
I couldn't my hearing isn't necessarily the greatest at times. I couldn't understand what he was saying. I don't know if other people are like that, but I mean probably. So I put on the subtitles to hear that, and she was like, wait, what? And he's like, but you were able to raise an emotionally healthy son. No. Bart is the opposite of emotionally healthy right now. And so Brad is like, and he's asking for Bart's name. And Bart's like, my name's Rudiger.
Oh my God.
Little Rudiger. He's like, and Marge, little Rudiger, Marge's like, that's not his name. Doesn't matter what his name is. Little Bart has ego integrity and well-defined boundaries. Also, no! No! God, no! Oh my God. And, so Brad says, the crowd is all going to start living, and the crowd's like, living. And he's like, you got to be like the boy. Be like boy. Be like boy. Seniors in the back. We like Roy. We like Roy. Because, seniors are hard of hearing.
Just like you.
Yeah, I love it. I identify as Grandpa Simpson. But and then everyone rushes to buy all of Brad's crap on the way out and leave a pile of money.
Yep.
And Lisa's visibly concerned by all this.
Yeah, she's like, this is not going to end well.
No.
And so we get my 2 cents with Kent Brockman.
Yep.
And I like how Kent says people are communicating and sharing their feelings more. And he says it's about fucking time.
But he doesn't say fucking. Well, he does, but it's bleeped.
Yes.
It's about bleeping time.
I'm assuming I have to ask you this. Has anyone sworn on air that you've had a beep?
So most national and cable have a 5-second delay.
No, I know. I'm asking you though. Have you had a beep anyone?
No.
Okay.
Have I heard people swear on air? Yes. At my stations, no. However, the funny thing is, so if you ever watch closed captioning for local news, because some people have to because they can't, they're hard of hearing. So they need, our aunt, she's hard of hearing. So she, on her dad's side, she's got to watch with closed captioning. When I first started in TV, I would point out spelling errors in the closed captioning. I had to stop because I was doing it every day. And you would see ass or poo or butt spelled B-U-T-T when it should have been B-U-T. It's incredible how it's gotten better over the years, for stations that I've worked at. But when I first started out, holy crap, the spelling errors.
So there's someone literally typing as the news is going, right?
No. So how it works is somebody is controlling the teleprompter and the teleprompter is hooked up to it so that when you're scrolling, it does it nowadays.
I'm talking for closed captioning.
Yeah. For closed captioning, that's how closed captioning used to work. Is that it wasn't somebody talking and the words would appear. There is a script that goes into a computer generation system, and that's how you see it on air. However, with technology updates, we actually have that now, where as the anchors are talking, a computer system transcribes it and puts it onto screen.
So it's basically as bad as Alexa or Siri or Google.
Back in the day, that's not how closed captioning worked. But as technology advances, we have the technology where it's basically a voice activated command. And that's how it goes on screen. So,
I learned something new today. I always thought it
Yep.
was some monkey typing the words as the person typed, so it showed up on the screen.
well, they do have that at some places too. Not
okay.
anymore. I think way back in the day they might have done that, but nowadays it's all computer generated for the most part.
Fun facts, folks. I like it. All
Which
right,
is great for breaking news.
Yeah. So Kent says that this wave can be traced back to Bart, who taught them that it feels good to do it, and Kent sprays whipped cream into his mouth on air.
You could get away with that if that was like an interview segment about cooking. But I don't know if you could I mean, I guess people would probably enjoy that. People are weird.
Yeah. So I like how Bart tells Lisa, today I'm a god. And yeah, I mean, for the first day, Bart is definitely feeling like that. And Lisa asks, why are you sitting on an ice cream sandwich?
Well, she's like, is that why you're sitting on an ice cream sandwich? Because you feel like God?
And Bart gets up, he's like, then the Santa's little helper comes by to lick it off.
Off his butt.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's a good idea. That looks like a chocolate ice cream bar.
Yeah, that's not going to come out. Good thing all of Bart's outfits look exactly the same.
Well, no. If the dog is licking it, it's chocolate.
No, but I'm saying it's good Bart has all the outfits exactly the same, so he can change out of it.
But I'm saying it's not good for the dog.
Oh, maybe.
It's chocolate. Dogs can't eat chocolate.
No, not a lot of chocolate. They shouldn't eat chocolate, but it's okay if they eat a smidge.
Really?
Well, our dog ate a whole pack of Oreos, and we're getting off topic. Okay. So we get to the first church of Springfield. Today's topic, be like unto the boy. And instead of a sermon today, Reverend Lovejoy is going to play the classic rag, The Entertainer by Scott Joplin on the organ. And, Reverend Lovejoy's take a break, Mrs. Fish.
Mrs. Fish.
And she's the old lady that plays the organ. It's good to know.
I never knew, up until this episode, I don't remember like this part at all. I didn't know the organ player had a name.
Well, we do now. Well, not everyone in Springfield has a name.
Not yet, anyways. Not yet.
And so Lovejoy starts playing it and stops. It's like, wait, I get it. It starts playing again. It stops, and Bart's just getting annoyed. He's like, okay, I get it now. This is why everyone needs to have their own what's that word? Their own
identity.
Identity. Yes, there we go. And so Krabappel is in class talking about the wireless telegraph invented by Guglielmo Marconi. And she asks the kids what the first message was. And Bart raises his hand, thinking he was going to give the right answer or a joke answer.
I think he wanted to give a joke answer.
Okay. And
but he was doing it in the right way by raising his hand.
Yes. And Bart blurts out...
Milhouse
blurts out, I won the change of my name. And everyone starts laughing, and Edna tells Milhouse that was a good one. And then she asks again, and Martin yells out, our 10th caller will receive tickets to Supertramp.
And Bart is annoyed, and he's like, oh, everybody's a comedian.
Yep.
Yeah, he's starting to lose his identity a little bit.
Yeah.
And so, Bart's feeling a little blue, so he wants to do his patented spinning off the overpass. But when he gets there, there is a large group of people on both sides spinning off, and you can hear cars crashing on the road down below.
Yep.
Because of all the spit.
That spit.
I don't know if that would cause car accidents. It would be annoying, but I don't know if that would really cause car accidents.
No, but I like how they were all like bobbing, like every other person was going. That was a cool bit.
Yeah. So now we're back at the house, and Bart tells Lisa he hates the fact that everyone is acting like him, and then Lisa explains to Bart in a very nerdy way why he feels like that. I'm not going to try to say it because it was basically what it boils down to, and she simplifies it for him. She tells Bart he's lost his identity because Bart is a rebel and everyone else is being like Bart, so it's not rebellious anymore.
Yep.
So, Bart doesn't have an identity, and Lisa suggests to Bart, hey, maybe you can become a good-natured doormat. And Bart's like, well, how do I start? Because, that's Lisa's identity.
Yep.
She's a good-natured doormat. Although we don't really see that at the beginning of The Simpsons.
No, but now it's kind of more prevalent.
Yeah. And so now we get the news talking about the Do What You Feel festival. He's like, Kent's like, it'll be a lot different than the Do As We Say festival started by German settlers in 1946. Boy, I wonder what happened the year before. What happened in 1945 that made German settlers come in 1946?
Yep.
So now we go to the festival where they're setting up.
Yep,
and Willie yelling into a microphone.
Yeah, he's like, if I'm elected mayor, my first act will be to kill the whole lot of you and burn your town to cinders.
And one of the guys like, that mic is on, right? I know. I'm voting for Willie, as long as he doesn't kill me.
Yeah.
Please don't kill me, Willie, if I vote for you. So Otto is in charge of parking, and he's like, park anywhere. I'm not going to enforce the rules today. Yeah. And like, you go into the parking lot and like the first few rows are fine, but then it's just a garbled mess of cars like that have crashed into one another.
I do feel like, and this is a little bit more later on, but I always feel like, okay, I don't mind the do what you want. Like, yes. that's okay. All well and good. But for most people, I'm like, well, if we park in an orderly fashion, we could get out on a timely manner.
Basically, do what you want as long as it doesn't affect other people's lives.
There you go. Yes.
And so as they're panning, so the Simpsons get there, they're like panning across the crowd. And in the background, you do see Dr. Marvin Monroe. And I believe this is like the second to last episode he's actually in as a character.
Yeah, it was a good shot of him. I kind of liked seeing him. But I think the joke, though, is Dr. Marvin Monroe is a therapist, albeit not necessarily the best therapist. Yeah. But he's actually participating in this festival.
And so we get to Burns, and he's like, I feel like a free spirit, and I'm enjoying this so-called iced cream.
Iced cream.
And Smithers is like, sir, I love you. In those colors. Yeah. Damn it. The boathouse was the right time, Smithers.
That's good.
That's
what'd you say? What'd you say, Smithers?
Yeah, I love you in those colors.
Yeah.
And so then we get Patty and Selma riding an animal naked, and everybody's like, ew. But the sea captain takes a picture. It's like, these will serve me on those lonely nights.
Yep.
Oh, gross. Gross.
Oh, my God. Patty and Selma took it way too far.
Yes, they did.
And then, so we see Homer walking in, the whole family walking in, and Homer is dressed in his bathrobe. You see his hair's a little bit longer, his beard's out. He's like, dude, I'm taking this to the next level. And we see Marge. Marge has a backwards baseball cap on the top of her hairdo.
Well, where else is she going to put it?
She could let her hair down, right?
No, that's her style, man.
Yeah, but it's a Do What You Feel festival, so maybe she'd feel like wearing a baseball cap with her hair down.
But clearly she didn't.
Nope. And so we see Apu and family skateboarding. Yeah. And Bart's like, oh, I used to be a skateboarder.
Yeah.
And then, so this is the weirdest part for me. So we see Skinner in the trees firing rocks at Bart with a slingshot saying, eat my shorts.
Young man,
yes.
Yeah, he's polite about it.
Yes. Now, this we haven't seen Bart with his patented slingshot yet.
Not really. No, in 5 seasons, I think we've seen it once.
Yeah, so it's so weird to see Skinner doing this because Bart
it's hilarious.
Hasn't really done it yet.
Yeah, but it's hilarious.
Yes.
Because the tables have turned.
Yep. And so now Quimby's emceeing the festival and points out that he's not with his wife, but he's comfortable with his womanizing.
And the crowd cheers.
Yep. And to usher in the festival, we got James Brown playing I Feel Good.
And it's the actual James Brown.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
You looked it up?
I did.
Okay,
James Brown voiced himself.
Nice. I'm surprised they just didn't play a track from him.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't him actually having a speaking role at it.
No, he kind of spoke. He sung, and then the stage collapsed. He's like, "This was held on by just a bolt."
Yep. Yeah. And after it collapses, the town's is gonna start fighting because Willie didn't oil the Fierce wheel, and it rolled away.
Excuse me. What kind of wheel?
A Ferris wheel.
You said Fierce.
Fierce.
That's what you said.
Sorry.
I know English is hard, Steve.
Fierce. Ferris is trademarked. I can't say Ferris.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
But no, the Fierce wheel rolls away.
Did that on purpose.
And I like how everyone's, getting all upset. And Lovejoy says...
Well, the wheel rolls into the zoo, and the animals escape.
Yep.
And the animals start attacking.
I didn't know there was a Springfield. I knew Springfield had a zoo. I didn't know it was in the main town square.
Apparently.
But Lovejoy says they made God angry because they made a false idol out of Brad Goodman, and we see they replaced the statue of Jebediah Springfield in the town square with the statue of Brad Goodman.
Did they?
Yeah.
Did I miss that?
You must have. Yeah, it's a Brad Goodman statue on Jebediah's little thing.
Oh.
And it was gold. It was a gold idol. Because they're worshiping, gold idols.
Yeah. Yep.
And Apu tells Lovejoy not to be angry with God, but to blame Bart instead.
But it's not even Bart's fault. It's Brad's fault. Lovejoy even said that.
Yep. And the crowd turns on Bart. Now, what's funny is if Bart hadn't been a little jerk during the thing and said the human going.
No. Don't blame Bart. Don't blame Bart. Bart's the victim here. Don't you be blaming Bart like this crowd.
I don't know, man.
It's Brad Goodman's fault. This is the monorail all over again. They need to run Brad out of town.
Yep.
I'm sure Brad is screwed over other towns and needs to get beaten to a bloody pulp.
Yeah. But they don't go to North Haverbrook on this one.
No.
So Homer pulls Bart into a float to hide him from the mob. And unfortunately, Homer doesn't understand floats and drives really fast and all the flowers fly away.
By the way, do you know how fast he was going for that to happen?
It was a car. Most floats, the internal
It showed. No, it shows the speedometer.
Oh, did it? How fast were they going?
5 miles an hour.
Yeah, I guess I've never driven a float. Floats drive pretty slow. I mean, if you look at like the Rose Parade, the Rose Parade, they drive like pretty slow, and I'm assuming you have to go a certain speed to make sure that the flowers and stuff don't.
My biggest question is, how did Homer get Bart into the float?
The when you see it float away, well, I mean, you see it. There's a trapdoor thing. Like Homer pulls him in through a trapdoor looking.
No, because the trapdoor would have opened. He pulled him in through the side.
Did he?
Yeah.
I thought it was like a little trapdoor that Homer.
No, he yanks him in.
Yeah.
And if you look, the cage is very small, like the bars to the cage.
Well, Homer had to get in there somehow.
Well, yeah, he used the trapdoor.
Oh, okay. And so, yeah. And so they drive away, slowly, and the mob doesn't apparently catch up to him. So Moe's like, all right, they're heading towards the mill.
No, we're not.
No, we're not. Oh, well, let's just go to the mill anyway to get some cider.
I love the fact that, like, they're getting away slowly. Guys, they're in a vehicle moving at, 5 miles an hour. You can easily stop it as a mob.
But they're lazy, man.
Yeah.
The mob is, the town of Springfield, man. They have to be really in on something to go forth.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're pretty lazy. They give up pretty easily. And so the family talks about the lessons they learned. But since they don't learn any lessons, they turn on a new show about a policeman who solves crime in his spare time. McGonagall. I feel like this is the first McGonagall.
I think it is the first McGonagall.
Or I think it's the first McGonagall, but I think it's a running gag, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah. So
McGonagall. McGonagall. Oh wait, that's MacGyver.
MacGyver. But yeah. I mean once again, it's like you have two halves of an episode. I wish we could rate them independently, because the first half of the episode, just when the episode started, I knew where it was going. I knew the beginning of this episode was Trampoline. I knew it. I knew it going in. And yes, the recap obviously from Robert gave it away on the little notes, but I knew where it was
I didn't
going.
give it away. The Simpsons recap gave it
Sure.
away. Don't
Okay.
blame me. Blame Disney Plus.
Sure. Blame Disney Plus. But anyway, I love the opening. I love the trampoline bit. I absolutely, it's one of the funniest parts of this episode. The back half, the whole, it's just not as good to me as I think. I'm still going to give it a 4 sprinkles, even though if I'm going to go 4 sprinkles. I like the jokes. I love the opening bit. I love the Krusty the Clown, Homer pressing the thing button a bunch of times. But yeah, from start to finish, it all falls well. It's just how the Brad Goodman and inner child stuff really played out, like just as an overall big picture played out. I wasn't necessarily 100% impressed.
It's a great episode. The beginning bit is really good. I like the fact that they, this is 93 and they're kind of touching on like mental health almost and bettering yourself, which is great. And in the process, they're also making fun of these self-help gurus with all these little tricks. And it's like, no, the best way to get better healthy, better mental health is talk to somebody.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. Kind of like you mentioned last episode too, like these 2 episodes back to back about Marge and self-improvement really, tie pretty well together.
Yeah. Trying to make friends, your mental health state. I agree. Kind of getting to the Brad Goodman stuff was kind of weird, because of the fact that, it all came about because Homer's like, well, Marge, what's the last thing you did for fun? And then it came into a conversation of her asking the kids, and the kids being like, well, you're kind of nagging, and Marge getting mad that they wouldn't tell her she's fun, which really that's on Marge. And so like, yeah, getting into the Brad Goodman stuff was kind of weird. They used Bart. I don't like the fact that Apu blames Bart for everything because it was Brad. Granted,
Dude, Brad wasn't there though.
Yeah, but they were like, Brad was the one that told everybody to be like Bart.
No, they told Bart
Roy. Is. Oh yeah, no, we like Roy. So that kind of irks me a little bit because it kind of falls into the victim blaming thing, and Bart is as much a victim as the rest of the town. I mean, it all boils down to it's Brad's fault. Really, I mean, it is, but it's a funny episode. It's really good. The jokes are great. Tramapoline. So 4 sprinkles. That back half, it didn't elevate the episode to a 5 for me.
No. All right, let's finish it off with our character profile. And this week we have the self-help guru himself, Brad Goodman.
What does he do?
His occupation is a self-spoken self-help guru.
Oh, okay.
His description, tall, good-looking, and slightly what is it?
Acromegalic? I have never...
Acromegalic.
Acromegalic? Acromegalic?
All right. I think we're butchered that enough.
Acromegaly is a hormonal disorder that develops when your pituitary gland produces
all right, that's
too much growth hormone during adulthood. Oh, I think this is the disease that Tony Robbins has. I think. Hold on. He has... no, he had a pituitary tumor that grew 10 inches. So something different.
He is also known as... the man who put the U in improvement.
God damn it.
He wrote a book. It's called Owning Your Okayness.
Which Homer was reading.
Yep. He also did a video, Adjusting Your Self-O-Stat.
Whatever the hell that means.
His education and credentials. He has a PhD in pain and none.
None. He doesn't have any credentials.
His accessibility, his infomercial plays around the clock on channel 77.
Oh my God.
And soon, you're not a human being, you're a human doing.
And I'm going to be a human going in about 30 seconds.
All right, guys, let's close it out with where you can find us on social media. Head over to Facebook, The Simpsons Did It Podcast, Instagram, The Simpsons Did It Pod. You can find us on Twitter, Simpsons to the PC. Feel free to donate to our podcast. Check us out on buymeacoffee.com/Simpsons Did It. And all your donations will go towards merch. And also, we're going to work on bettering our recording, the quality of recording. And so all your donations are going to help us do that. So definitely feel free to donate if you'd like to hear us sound a little bit better. I know the past couple episodes might have been a little bit twerky, but we want to improve for you guys. We're coming up on episode 100 here. It's we're currently sitting at 88. So by episode 100, we do want to make sure that we're giving you quality as well as quantity. You can
they get all the quantity.
Yeah, so you can head over to our YouTube to check out all our backlogged episodes. Just type in Simpsons Daily Podcast. Make sure to like and subscribe and comment because we like all of that. And the more subscribers we have, the more we can get that YouTube channel name that is not garbly.
We need our URL.
We need our URL. Thank you, Robert. And finally, you can give us a phone call on 612-584-0986 and give us a bunch of feedback. We like feedback, so do it. So until next time, I'm Steven Skolansky.
And I'm Robert Skolansky.
And this has been The Simpsons Did It.
Shh.